Welcome back, everyone. In this video, I'm going to be tackling the Lost at Sea Station, an area in the bottom right corner of the Ocean Realm. This was uncovered due to a Force Gem quest chain that I completed in the last video, so if you want to figure out how to do that, then refer to the previous video. As long as we're passing through, though, at the corner here is the 10th and final Ocean Rabbit. That's cool in general. However, if you have been following along with me, this should be your 50th and final rabbit total.
Victory dance!
So I will be swinging by Rabbitland Rescue in the next video to collect our prize, but for now, continue on to the Lost at Sea Station. Real quick, before we tackle this area, there is some treasure we can grab. On each side of the map, there is a crystal stone that will activate if you play the Song of Light to it. You want to do so for both of them to figure out where they meet. You want to stand where the lights intersect and play the Song of Discovery, and a chest will appear containing treasure. There's also some leaves on the ground in the top left corner of the map in particular, which you can blow around with a whirlwind to find some common treasure hiding underneath them fairly often. When you're done messing around here, you want to stand near the chest and wait, or stay fairly close to the light beams and play the Song of Birds. This will make one of those black seagull things swoop down, and the reason I suggest you stand further to the south is because there's also some crows up on that ledge, and you'll summon them too with the Song of Birds if you're standing too close. In general, I think it's better to just wait for the bird to swing down low. It just comes this way anyway, patrols back and forth, so if you just wait, you can whip to it anyway. I knew all those hours of dodging cuckoos would someday come in handy. Want to go to the right and you'll find another stone thingamajigger. You want to play the Song of Lights for it to get a hint about what to do next. Before you talk with the Gossip Stone, you should go slash up the acorns for supplies. The bombs will come in handy, the arrows not so much, as you'll see. You want to play the Song of Discovery for the Gossip Stone, and it will explain that it can whisk you away to a dungeon that's a replica of some temple on a faraway continent. I'm assuming this is a reference to Phantom Hourglass, but the point is, it's a Tower of Spirits type deal with phantoms, but you'll temporarily have no sword and no bow, meaning you have no way of taking over the phantoms. You have to sneak around them and try to solve the puzzles without getting caught. On each floor of this dungeon, we start out in a safe zone with a stone tablet that gives us instructions about what to do on that particular floor in order to proceed. This tablet tells us to light all the torches in the room. To start, you want to follow the phantom on the left so that you can get to the treasure chest in the safe zone. For both of the torches on the north side of the room, you want to stand near the fire-breathing statue thingies and use the boomerang to pass on the flame. I recommend you be really careful that you try not to hit a wall, though, because we have less space to run than it may seem at first. You want to go light the other one on the right side, and then head to the middle for the final torch. this room is pretty self-explanatory. You just run around with the whirlwind and blow out all the torches. The only thing that makes this difficult is just that it's dark, and it may be smart to blow out the torches on one side of the room and work your way to the other. In general, I recommend starting out with the left side because it kind of zigzags back and forth. It's more confusing. Meanwhile, the right side, I recommend you end with it because it's pretty much just a straight stretch. You can, once you start blowing out the torches, you can just run like that whole length from the north to south, so it's really easy to get away from the phantoms if they see you. Real quick note before we leave this floor though, there is a treasure chest in a hidden alcove on the right side. Now you'll only notice it if you're walking into the walls and paying attention to your map, or if you're following closely behind the torch phantom. You'll see that there's a chest here, but the only way to get it completely visible so that we can open it is to get the torch phantom to follow you in there. And there's no way to get away from it though, so you're guaranteed to lose a heart. Now I'm not actually going to do that for myself, I just wanted to point it out because I don't think that most people realize there's a chest on this floor. On this floor, we have 4 sets of fish switches. One switch will always create enemies, while the other one will bring us one step closer to opening the door. Once you've used all of the correct switches, we can proceed to the next floor. Now, because the 2 enemies on the left move counterclockwise, it's generally easier to move through the room by going the same direction they are. I'm going to go to the top right corner and grab a treasure chest along the way. I have my map marked showing which switches you need to pull for each set. All of them are the right one, except for the top left one, which is left. This warp phantom can be a pain. When it travels to the left side, you can quickly run in and grab the switch, but you don't have much time. Now, you can lure it away with a bomb or something to give it even more time to go investigate, but if you watch its movements, though, you'll notice that when it gets to the far right side, it turns right and doesn't look left at all. So if you sneak up alongside it and stay on its left side, then you can easily get past it and access the switches. So the tablet here instructs you to destroy rocks, and by that it's referring to the cracked blocks that are everywhere on this floor. Now you can do this by taunting the Wrecker Phantoms into following you, but this can be dangerous, not so much because they're hard to avoid, but because once one of them sees you, then all of them in this section of the floor will come looking for you. So if you're not careful, you can quickly become surrounded and you have multiple phantoms coming from different directions, and that's where it gets tricky. Now because of this, it may be smart to try and use bombs when you're far away from them so that they don't come and investigate. Otherwise, they'll come and look at the explosion. You can always just toss bombs down and then run away so that the bombs blow up long before the Wrecker Phantoms ever get to you. Now, if you never purchased the bomb bag from Beetle, then you obviously will not have this option. I kind of find that hard to believe, especially at this point in the game, because I'm pretty sure that just about everybody will have at least gone to Beetle's shop once, and it kind of seems like an obvious buy. Now, I don't really have any complicated instructions for you. Just take it slow and try to be mindful of the locations of all of the nearby phantoms. This final room has one of each type of phantom. Honestly, it's kind of an irrelevant detail because we can't possess them, so it isn't really all that game-changing. The warp phantom can warp to you, but it kind of does that like towards the end of you like running away, so you usually won't ever really encounter it. The only other one that's challenging in a way is just the wrecker phantom because it moves really fast. So if you start having it come after you, you may need to run away really quickly. Hopefully you have bombs and you can destroy these blocks, otherwise you're going to have to lure a Wrecker Phantom over here, which is dangerous because the other Phantoms will come after you too, and the Wrecker Phantom's on the opposite side of the room, so that's kind of challenging. The left switch here lowers the spiked barrier to the left, meanwhile the right switch creates a phantom eye, so don't do that. In the center we have a lit torch here and an unlit one. I'm going to pass the flame along with the boomerang to lower the other spikes. So once all of the treasure has been collected, the barrier will open, leading us to the last doorway. This leads to a large chest containing a Regal Ring, the second of 2 chests in the entire game with that particular treasure. If you've been following along, that means that we now have everything we need to purchase the Golden Train set. I'll be doing that as well as a few other remaining goodies in the next video, so work your way back to the train and I will see you then.